All right, I'm on hole number 5 of the Extreme Hills tournament and Monday's practice round of the rookie division. Let's go check out hole number 5, and this is going to be Eagle Peak, hole number 5. And you can do this. You do not have to bring out a bigger ball. You can get it done. I got this done earlier today with my low-level account on I have no idea. I have no idea. I had so much speed when I came down this hill. I used an extra mile 7 and a Titan, and it had the perfect bounce coming down and it had so much speed coming down here. I was like, oh, that's going to end up in the sand for sure. And it actually went right in between the two and ended up right up here, right off the fringe. Ideally, you want to get out enough that you can you want to bring a big enough ball that you can apply curl and bring it around. An APOC works really well on this. So does a rock. Something with great accuracy. I'm unsure how I'm going to play this hole. I know in the last tournament I used a rock and I used a firework ball. I used a power 4 ball. But I'm just thinking that, let me think here. Let me put my thinking cap on. How do I want to play it this week? And we're in a rock. Let's compare a rock to an APOC. So as far as distance, raw distance, the APOC's got a little bit more topspin. But if you catch the right trajectory down there, not having as much topspin is not as big a problem. I'm not sure that I was getting caught up in the rough, but having more topspin could get me up onto the green. Curl, definitely more ball guy with the rock. Let me think about this. Let me think. I'll put my thinking cap on. Do I want to try it with an APOC? I've got very limited experience using an Apocalypse because I didn't have one forever. And the only reason that I have one in level 4 right now, I just got an Apocalypse. It hasn't even been a year. I've been playing the game for 3 years, over 3 years and a few days. I started playing like the last week of May in 2017, so it's just been just over 3 years. And I haven't even had an Apocalypse for a year. I didn't get it until like August of last summer. And the rest of my clubs were so developed that it was basically a useless club in my bag. And the only thing that's made it useful is the prism chest. So the club card trading is the only reason. And I've gotten the Apocalypse quite a few times, but it was level 1 when the club card trading came out. And I've been able to get it up pretty quick because every time it comes up, I don't even care what else is in there. I'm picking the Apocalypse. So I don't have that much experience playing with it. All right. I'm not sure I need to burn a 5 power ball to do this. I'm going to bring, and I really hate to waste those. And I'm going to bring a 4 power ball. Let me see what I can get done with a Titan. Let me see what I can get done with a Titan. Let me think here. Distance-wise, more distance, less curl. So it's hard to bring it around with the extra mile. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna just try it with a because I'm practicing today. I really should practice with a 4 power ball. All right, you talked me into it. I'll bring a 4 power ball. Peer pressure. We'll see what we can do. I can always switch to my rock if I don't like it. Husker Red. Let's see let's see which way the wind's blowing. The wind's blowing in that direction. They've got a 2 power ball. Using the wind. See if they hit it perfect. Come on. Excellent. Yeah, you had to do more overpower than that. No, I'm telling you, I would rather end up in the sand down at the bottom or in the trees than end up at the top up there. I think that shot right there blows. I mean, when you talk about risk versus reward, um, that that is just okay. The wind's going to push me forward 2 rings. Hit it 1 ring great on the inside, 1 ring great to the right. See if I hit those trees. If I make it through them, made it through it. Barely. I clipped the tree. I clipped the tree, that great on the inside, and I had a little bit more room on the outside than I thought. And that's because I put so much curl on it. And the reason I put so much curl on it is if you don't put curl, you'll end up in this bunker over here. A power 5 ball would probably work better there, and I wouldn't have to put on all the, I may not have to put on all the top spin. And that would control the ball so that I don't end up on the backside. What I'd like to do is come in at this angle right here so that I can catch that backboard on the green and roll back down towards the cup and have a putt as opposed to a chip. I forfeited enough and tanked enough putts. I'm going to go for this shot just because this is the type of shot you definitely want to practice. You definitely want to have confidence in it. So if you end up in the rough here, it's not the end of the world. And the problem with this green is that, and actually where I'm at, it's actually not too bad. It has a lot of break in it. And that's not going to work for me. From this distance, go right on the outside of the cup. Oh, hit it great to the right. I know that this hole right here, I've been down on the bottom. I'll go back and watch. Go back into the playlist that I set up for the Extreme Hills, and I use a rock, and I used a firework ball on that one. The deal is that getting down there to the bottom was tricky, but the shot from the bottom was also tricky because you end up in front. I'm gonna forfeit. That way I can really go for it on the rest of these shots. Game. Can really go for it on the rest of the holes here. At 5 at 0. So let me go back and look at that hole. This is what so the shot where I've ended up in the past, my consistent landing zone in the past has always been like down in this zone. And what I'd really like is to have enough speed where I've got my trajectory right, because if I put on any more with the rock, I end up in the sand. And so what I really like is to get around the bend enough, and it may be it may be a 5 power ball. I mean, that may be the deal, because I'd like to get enough trajectory where this green has a backboard on it, and if you can engage the green and use that backboard, you can float back down to the cup and take a putt. And so I think tomorrow I'm gonna use a 5 power ball and see what I like about the 5 power ball. And I may go with a rock just because it's more accurate, gives me more ball guide. I'm not losing that much distance, and I don't know that the top spin, like I didn't put all the top spin on it right there. And I don't know that the topspin, if I can get the right trajectory, if I can get in front of those trees before the curl takes hold so that I can get this kind of trajectory, I think a 5-power ball might work okay with a rock. It might work better. I'm trying, and I know how to get down into this zone. What I'm trying to do is actually engage the green so that I can float back down. I'm not trying to go for hole-in-one here. I'm just trying to get on the green, so I'm taking a putt. This green in Eagle Peak, here's something to be cognizant of about Eagle Peak. This green is like, here's the green, and it's sloping down like this, and here's the cup, and there is a flat area down here. But there's a lot of movement on this green. And one of the things about Eagle Peak, when Eagle Peak came out, and we were, you're right off the green, and wind's not going to play a factor. So you're aiming right at the flagpole. Here's the cup, and here's the flagpole. You're aiming right at the flagpole. And you hit it perfect, and then you miss the cup. Or you hit it great to the right on a shot that in any other hole on any other course you would have made it, whether it was great to the left or the right, and you miss. And the reason is that in this particular course is when they really started pushing the brake on greens. And so as you engage that hill, I mean, think about how gravity works. If you're hitting the ball straight forward and the ground is flat, and you hit it straight forward, it's going to stay on that trajectory. There's nothing moving it. There's nothing moving it. There's no break in the course. But if the course is high on the left and low on the right, and you're hitting it, trying to hit it straight, and you got your speed right, as the farther the ball goes forward, the more the ball is going to drop to the right. The break in the course is going to grab a hold of the ball, and gravity is going to pull the ball to the right. As it slows down, it's going to drift to the right, and it's going to put you off trajectory. So you may be in one of those spots where you're really close to the hole, and you go, hey, wind's not a factor. And then you miss the shot, and you're like, what the hell? And what happened is that wind wasn't a factor, but the break was a factor. And so you didn't factor in the fact that the course was going to break to the right, and you hit it straight forward, and then it broke to the right, and you missed the cup on the right-hand side. And this is one of those holes that is really tricky. Even if you get down here, it can be very tricky to make that chip. And so I'm trying to figure out a way that I can avoid the chip by just getting on the green. And I'll keep working on it. And hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have it all figured out. All right, that was hole number 5 of the Extreme Hills Tournament and Monday's practice round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.